where we're at, because a few of you are asking me questions that make me feel like we need to review a few things, okay? All right, so what you've got, okay, at your disposal, and this is new this year, and I'm excited about the fact that this is how this is going to go down. And I know, hey guys, thanks. COVID's like sucks for lots of things, but there has been some positives of how we've done stuff, and I'm excited about how we're doing flies this year. You all have your first tube, and every single one of you in here have had flies that have made it. And Alex, you even had a male and female red fly. What you have in that first tube is worms, and those worms are there because those flies made it, and those will become babies. Yesterday, Savannah had pupa. Does anybody else have pupa today? Okay, great. Awesome. Okay, great. Did you have some yesterday too? Okay. Okay. Now,
Don't they get black when they're about
they get really dark. Okay. They will, no one will have flies yet. You're still a couple days away.
You see that? You see that? That one's like.
We're talking like almost like black.
Look at this one.
All right. Yeah. That's the closest I've seen yet.
Yeah, Riley. Yeah.
You will have a baby in the next 2 days.
Let's go.
Okay. All right. Now. Okay. Now let me make sure everybody's following. Shh. Okay. Sam, put your Chromebooks up. Thanks. I want to make sure you're with me. Okay. You got me? You with me? Okay. Now listen. Everyone now has 2 tubes. Everyone has a Petri dish. Everyone has a magnifying glass. I need to get you a magnifying glass. And you also have a paintbrush. Let me tell you again what the tools are going to be used for.
Yeah.
I am not at this point giving anyone flies. You're like, well, what am I supposed to do with this second tube? I've got my first tube, and in this tube are my worms. What do I want? You will. What do I want to get out of that first tube? A virgin female fly. How do I know it's a virgin female fly? 8 hours. It has to get removed from that tube in 8 hours. How do I know it's a female? It's a lighter abdomen. It's a little bit bigger. Okay, and no hooks on its forearms, right? Okay. And Alex, I can help you identify some of those later. Okay. Now, let's run through a couple scenarios. Okay. So let's say this weekend, and again, we have no idea what's going to happen on Monday. Already it's changed this morning. I woke up, it said 6 inches on Saturday, 4 inches on Sunday. Now it says 6 inches on Saturday, 3 inches on Sunday. That's gonna change. I've heard 8 to 12. Just look at last week. Last week on this very day, it said we were gonna have 6 inches on Sunday. It ended up just being ice, right? Almost no snow at all. So don't get your hopes up, but we have to be prepared because a lot of you are getting to that point where we could have flies. So all of a sudden, like let's say I go home on Friday. I take my tube home, and I look at it Friday, and I'm home all weekend because it's COVID. My parents suck; they won't let me go anywhere. Okay, so I look at it, nothing on Saturday. I look on it, nothing on Sunday. Okay, I'm like, I'm never gonna have flies. Monday, you think we're gonna have a cancellation. There's not even a delay. You wake up late, you come to school, you leave your flies at home. You checked them right before you left though. Luckily, no flies. You're like, I'm fine. Okay, you leave, you come back home, you've had practice. It's 6 o'clock. Your tube is full of flies. What do I do with all of those flies? I let them go.
Almost 7 hours.
Okay, yeah, but no, I leave at 7. I get home at like 6 because I got like practice or something. Okay, so you gotta have that 8 hours. Okay, so I would definitely bring them back to school. Okay, just so you can watch them. Okay, but again, this is up to you. Some of you are going to be lucky. Some of you are going to be at home. You're going to see your flies. You're like, I'm going to get that female. Okay, let's say you have like 10 flies in here. Do I put all 10 in? No, I put just the females. Okay, I put the females. But what if you're like, I'm not confident. I want to know, like for sure. I want Mr. Burke to confirm this. I would put one fly in my new tube. Once again, how do I put the flies from 1 tube to another? Okay, I put this in the freezer for about 10 minutes. Okay, then I take my Petri dish, I take the flies, I put them in there, put this on a bag of like frozen peas. Okay, then I use, they're not, make sure they're not moving. Okay, then I look, I find my female. I like to rub this on a shirt, get or my hair, get a little static cling. I pick up the fly and transfer it to next tube. Okay, make sure you look at that fly to make sure it's not dead. Later, it should start flying around. Now, I've been thinking about these flies a lot. Hold that thought for a quick second. And originally, and how I've done this in the past, is that the white-eyed folks and the red-eyed folks share their males. Okay, so you guys get your white-eyed from these folks. I'm just going to go ahead and give you the white-eyed males or the for you guys and the red-eyed males for you guys. Okay, because it's just going to be easier that way. Unless I run out, okay, well, I'll figure it out. Okay, we'll figure out. We shouldn't have a problem with that. But I'm going to get the flies for you, the male flies. Yes. You can. If you're confident, go for it. Okay. I'm only saying, like, if you want to play it safe, one fly in there because it's not going to mate with itself. It can try, but nothing to do with it. Okay, y'all with me on this? Okay. Yikes. All right. Okay. Kids don't act like this. It's right to do. All right. Just kidding. No, it's fine. All right. Now listen. What questions do you have? Yes. I go about 10 minutes. Again, set an alarm. Okay. You know, like every year someone leaves it in there. You get busy. I forget sometimes too. I've done this. Like I've been like, I put something in the freezer. I've gone to lunch. All of a sudden I'm like, whoa! I'm like running down. Luckily, Greta even today was like, oh man, Greta's so Greta and I are having our own little experiment, which is I'm really pumped about this. So what she did was, she's not there. Her students don't have to get a female. Okay, a virgin female. I like that part. Okay, that's kind of the fun part for me. That's the challenge, right? It's hard. It's hard, right? So here's what they're doing. She bought, well, we got all red males. Okay, so I got a tube of all red males that she's going to give to her students. Then she got a tube of already just virgin females, but she's trying two different traits: an ebony body, I think, and a sepia body. I need to like ask her about those because we talked about a couple different things. I can't remember what we settled on. So they're just going to have their first parent tube. They're automatically going to put those in, and then they're going to get the offspring from that. So it's going to be really interesting to see. Now she's also using something called FlyNap, and FlyNap is it's like this chemical that you put in the tube, and it puts them to sleep. Chloroform for flies. Okay, so I don't like the chemicals, so that's why I like the freezer stuff. So we're gonna see if it works, right? Right. Yeah, we're going organic, right? But that stuff I did have I had kind of an allergic reaction to it, and I went into your room today. I was like, oh my god, I feel asleep. Does this work on people? No, just kidding. All right, okay, y'all with me on this? Are there any questions about what's happening? Alex, let me tell you what the goal is. You've got red-eyed flies. Eventually, you're going to take a female out of there, and you're going to breed it with a male of the opposite color. We're going to look at the offspring. Go back to Google Classroom. There's a bunch of stuff to help you, like determine the difference between male and female flies. And some quizzes. If you could do those, that'd be great. All right, yo. Oh, I have to give you a.
Yes, I need to freeze this back. You just listen to the whole process one time. You freeze this, right? Yes, you do. You put all the flies right in here.
Make sure you don't
And you pick out the right one, and then you put the rest back in. So, but all the worms are gonna
Riley, the worms become pupa, the pupa become.
So when we get a fly, so say we have one fly.
You want to make sure you have a lot more than one fly.
Static
Oh, yeah.
All right, now, yes.
So if we get.
Mm. Woo! It's a great question.
No.
You don't put this in the
You
freezer.
put this in the freezer, Riley,
Yes, freeze it.
for about
That
10
was a
minutes.
great question.
20 minutes. Got it.
And then you put then you put all of your flies in your petri dish.
And then
And then you put the petri dish on top of a bag of frozen peas.
Landon asked a question that no one's asked today, and I'm pumped that he asked this. Okay, you ready for this? Here we go. Do you put, okay, Lee, get your female. You got it in your second tube. Do you put all the other flies back in the first tube? What do you think?
No, you let go. You let that.
Let him
sucker
go.
fast.
Let him go.
Yeah. Watch out.
If you're,
Just
if you want to kill him.
You just go.
Okay, Brett.
Mine are gonna get like 3.
I can't
Put
kill
them
him.
all back in here.
I could barely kill like house flies.
Oh, I was wondering.
Okay, are y'all with me on this? You want your tube from now on, your initial tube just needs to be, is emptied every time, okay? Because we want to get females. Now listen, okay, that in that situation where I went to school, went to practice and came home and I had like, you know, all these flies, I had to let those all go. I couldn't use those. There's only going to be so many times that you're going to be able to get offspring out of that. Okay, so be diligent to get a female right away. You understand what I'm saying? And this has happened before. Like kids are like, oh crap, I forgot again. Like second time they forgot, third time they forgot. I go, you're going to be up creek if you can't get a female. Okay, and it's happened where like last year I remember this kid was like, okay, I just had a fly hatch. He's like, it's a male. Okay, and I was like, no. And then it was getting down to like the wire where there was like no more hatching out. Okay. And he finally got a female, but like, it was like a couple days where it was like all the children were males, like almost every single time. So be diligent to get those females out when you can. And you're going to have to just do this at home. Okay. But I will check them. Okay. So let's say this happens, Sammy. Okay, let's say you're confident. You're like, I got 4 females. I put them in here. I look at them. You got a male. It's not all over. What we'll do is we'll just make you a new tube, and then because those flies would have made it, right? But I don't want everybody to do that. But if you're good, yeah, it's all right. Maybe we'll come back to you. It's like me every
Oh,
day.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say like we go home tonight.
Yeah.
And we do it. Would the flies be okay if we just let it sit in there?
Okay, yeah. So as soon as you get your female in there, she's gonna be fine until you get a male. Okay, and we'll get like, so nobody's gonna have any offspring tonight. Nobody's gonna have any offspring tomorrow night. Riley, my prediction is it may be Saturday morning. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll look. Okay, we'll look. Okay, it could be Friday night. Okay, but that's just one. If that one only hatched out. Now listen, the other thing, don't forget this. Okay, when they hatch out, okay, you can't just get them out like right away. Like the second they hatch, I know, and some people get real pumped. They're like, I got a baby. Okay, give it a second. Let its wings pump up. Let its body pump up. Let it become a fly. Don't like don't throw them in the freezer right away. Yeah. I would say like an hour is good.
Oh.
Half hour. Like you'll see it. You'll see it happen. In maybe a minute, but she's stressed out because she's delivering some flies to the children right now. Hey, now listen, hey, I told you the truth about the fly hours, right? It could be beyond 8 hours, okay? But like I've seen some text that says you're good for 12, but like that's pushing it for me. I like 8 hours because that's like an 8-hour work day, right? Okay, 8 hours is good. I know 12 hours is good. 12 is like, oh gosh, like it could be like 8, stick with 8. Yeah.
It's just funny like how these flies like I guess 8 hours.
8 hours.
I think it's like, honestly, I think it's a biological thing. It's not like 8 hours, like, it's like the clock ticks and then boom.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's like my body's ready.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time to go. Okay, that's